Well, hi everyone. I'm John Retlin with a real honest rant about acceptance in wrestling. There are layers to this, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is people who don't like members of the LGBTQ community being included in wrestling. If you have a problem with that just simply because of their lifestyle, you're a fucking asshole. You're a fucking bigot, and you need to take a look in the mirror and realize that you need to change. Take it from somebody that used to be homophobic, transphobic, a major bigot, and a major racist into my teenage years. If I didn't change how I was, I wouldn't fucking be here. So you cannot like the characters. That's one thing. There are people that don't find Nyla Rose's character interesting, but she used to be a man, this kind of stuff, whatever. Okay, cool, whatever. Sex changes have been happening for a number of years, even decades and stuff like that. And I don't really see that being an issue if you feel that you were born differently than you feel or whatever, and you want to change who you are or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There ain't nothing fucking wrong with that. And if you feel that way, I really, really want you to choose your words carefully here, because I really don't tolerate bigotry, homophobia, and that kind of stuff on my channel. I make a lot of bad jokes and everything, and I'll make a lot of, I'll have a lot of takes that some people may not like, and that's fine. And once again, I can't control how you feel, but I can control who the fuck, wants to comment on my channel. So if you want to be like that, you might want to talk to friends, family, whoever, that are members of the LGBTQ community, and maybe find out, hey, do I just have this narrow-minded view because of how I was raised, or is it something I don't understand? I'll tell you a little bit more about me. And I did a rant about this, about acceptance, tolerance, and understanding. Basically, I was extremely hateful and everything up to my teenage years, and a certain event happened that basically made me realize, my brain said, wait a minute a second, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Like, why are we like this? And it took a while, and it took a lot of mending of bridges, because I was very hateful and everything. But I grew up and realized that, yeah, there are certain, it's like, sure, maybe joke-wise, maturity-wise, I haven't necessarily grown up. But as far as how I view people and understanding love is love and stuff like that, and as long as it's between consenting adults, that's what matters. No, I'm not going to go. There are certain things that shouldn't be accepted in wrestling. A little bit of sidebar here. The whole pedo thing, the whole speaking out thing, all the people that are involved in that. Any of that stuff turns out to be true. Any of those wrestlers, don't care who they are, men or women, need to be blacklisted. Those that make false claims also need to be brought to justice as well, because false claims make it difficult for those of actual assaults to come forward. That's all I'm really going to say about that, though, because that's the kind of shit we need to get out of wrestling, but I don't feel comfortable talking more about, that kind of stuff. I feel the victim should be heard as somebody that, as somebody that is not them. I don't feel, I'm definitely not going to share the victims' names and stuff like that. I wish them nothing but happiness and hope that they can they can continue to live their lives, and that they can get some kind of justice for any of this injustice that happened. Now, let's go back to the LGBTQ community, because there's a reason why I'm mainly talking about this here. I think it's fucking bullshit that people are judged for being gay in 2020. I thought that was fucking bullshit even back in, a number of years ago. And looking back on it, I thought it was bullshit even in, the 1990s when I was in high school. Well, at least the later 90s. When I finally realized, oh shit, I need to stop fucking being like this. Guys, there's nothing wrong with somebody who wants to be in wrestling that also happens to be gay, or, gay, bi, any LGBTQ letter. Doesn't matter. Because it's about how they perform in the ring. Sonny Kiss is a very dynamic performer. Is he my favorite wrestler in AEW? No. But am I impressed with what this guy does? Yes. And I think his work will set him apart from others. And I thought his match with Cody is pretty good. I think Nyla Rose, I don't care if she was born a man. I don't care if she was born a friggin' wildebeest. I don't care if she was born as a Martian or whatever and changed into a woman. You know what? I don't care about that. And I make a few jokes. I'm not trying to make light of that kind of stuff, but I don't care. She is a dynamic performer. And I appreciate how she is bringing awareness to the transgender community in her own way, especially in wrestling. And there are other transgender wrestlers that are doing this kind of, they are, feeling like they can come out and they can be who they are and everything. And you should be who you are, especially if you are an adult that can make your own decisions and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a slippery slope. I'm probably going to lose fucking followers or subscribers over this and everything, and I don't fucking care. Because I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of the bigotry and the bullshit and everything that I'm seeing in wrestling. I'm sick of the fucking racism. Making jokes is one thing. I make jokes about various people of various race, colors, and creeds and everything, but I make jokes. I also find a fine line of what I don't say. Because I make offensive jokes all the goddamn time. Because it's just who I am. But if I had hate in my heart for any particular race, I would be betraying who I should be as a human being. And that goes for anybody. Guys, I've had people of different races and everything get in my face, groups of people and whatever, and you know what? That didn't change how I felt about a particular, about an entire race. You know why? Just because why? A few people who happen to share that skin tone have, are they speak for everybody? No, that's not how it is. I don't speak for all white people because, hate to say it, there are some that still don't want to recognize the fact that different races and everything and different, genders and, different sexualities exist in wrestling. Let's take a little trip down memory lane and everything, since people apparently just discovered the members of the LGBTQ community, which I've said a whole lot and everything. That's why I have the shirt back here. One, to, basically piss off any bigots, but also to represent, hey, it's not just Pride Month. We should push for acceptance in general. Trip down memory lane, though. Plenty of gay wrestlers have existed. And Terry Garvin, Pat Patterson, granted, it took him years to come out, but I think everybody knew. Nothing wrong with that. Pat has his own issues that he needs to work out as a human being, but not because he's gay. Others and everything, there was Jim Barnett. He was rumored to have been gay, if actually true. There are plenty of women who were lesbians, I'm sure, and while I'm, trying to come up with some names and everything, it's like Tegan Knox recently came out, and there were a whole bunch of people, and that's actually going to be something that I talk about here just briefly. Those that are saying, oh, well, and it's like, oh, it's such a waste. Why is it such a fucking waste? Why is it such a fucking waste, guys? Because, why? Because she wouldn't sleep with you fucks? Seriously. She's happy. Be happy for her. If you were any kind of fan, you wouldn't care what their sexuality is. Now, if it turns out that they are somebody like, if they're somebody that is trying to hit on teenagers and they are clearly over the age of 18, yeah, okay, let's fucking call that out. But Tegan Knox being a grown woman who is happy with her girlfriend, whoever she is, great. You know what? She should fucking be happy. Here's why she should be happy. Because Tegan Knox is a talented woman. She's also a woman who is happy with who she is. Anybody, whoever the fuck it is, Darren Young, I mean, I don't remember when he came out. People were railing against him. That was all the way back in 2013? Was it 2013? It was one of the, I think it was 2013 actually, because he talked about how Punk said, hey, this I'm accepting him as he is. He doesn't change how I view him. I think it's how that was a story he told. But the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you guys is just because somebody is a member of the LGBTQ community does not take away from how they are in the ring. Now, if somebody is a bad person, then sure, that can obviously fracture somebody's view. There are things we need to accept in wrestling. There are things we don't need to accept in wrestling. Get the racism the fuck out. Friendly jokes and everything, friendly barbs are always going to happen among friends, among locker rooms and stuff like that. Also, the issue of sexism. I know for a fact, this is something I'm going to talk about here. I'm actually going to get away from the previous topics. I'll probably come back to the racism here in a bit. I've been at multiple indie shows, where I have heard a lot of slurs and a lot of shit hurled at the women. And a lot of the shows I watch, maybe they have one woman's match at the most. I think one had two. And it was great to see, because there aren't as many local talents that they can get here in Washington State. There are some talents, but not as many, which is unfortunate. And hopefully there's more representation like that. But anyway, there are sometimes I've seen women get plenty of insults hurled. Thunder Rosa, Priscilla Kelly, was a match I saw at the first ever Without a Cause show, local promotion in Everett. And I remember hearing some of that shit and being disgusted. Now, I don't remember who the fuck the fan was. I was sitting on the opposite side of the little, of the rec center, little room thing that we were at, where the venue was. Otherwise, I probably would have punched the person in the goddamn face. I probably would have gotten in trouble. That kind of bullshit is ridiculous. I do recall that he got banned from future events, so at least there was that. But then there were people that were throwing out F words, the gay slur, towards male wrestlers and stuff like that. Which I don't know if any of these male wrestlers are or aren't, and it's not going to change how I view them as workers, and it shouldn't change how you view them as workers. But hearing that kind of stuff's fucking ridiculous. The fact that that kind of toxicity still exists in wrestling is fucking bullshit. It is fucking bullshit. And it needs to fucking end. We need to accept people, regardless of their sexuality, their gender, whether and especially if they're trans. What if a man transitioning to a woman transitioning to a man? What the fuck's the matter? If that is what it takes, if an outward appearance takes you away your opinion, oh God, I liked them when they were here, and now that they're over here, I don't like them, then you never fucking liked them because you didn't appreciate who they were. And it's going more a little bit away from wrestling, but I see it so much in wrestling, and I'm fucking sick of it. Take a look at what Nyla Rose goes through. Sonny Kiss, and various others. Tegan Knox got a whole bunch of stuff. I'm trying to come up with some examples here, but you guys get the whole point. Now, in closing, let's get the sexism out. Let's have some fun. We can joke with our, male and female counterparts, regardless. And we can joke with our friends in the LGBTQ community, whether, friends or whatever. And there are plenty of, of friends and, fellow fans or whatever that I've met at wrestling shows that happen to be at, each letter of that community. And they are awesome people. I'm not going to mention names here. I don't want to mention names. You know who you are. I've talked to you without a cause shows. I've talked to you at Defy shows. You guys are fucking awesome. And thank you for interacting with me. But in closing, if you want to be a fucking bigot, you need to get the fuck off my channel. You need to look in the mirror. You need to change who you are. If you don't want to change who you are, and I'm talking a bigot towards LGBTQ people and also being a fucking racist. It's like that. Fuck racism, watch wrestling, sure. Okay. That's really what it comes down to. It is a state of mind. Watch wrestling. Fuck racism. Fuck being a bigot. Quit fucking being a goddamn asshole about it. Care about people as performers. If it turns out that they aren't the best people, hate to say it, some of the best wrestlers turn out not to be the best people. Let's try to be more accepting of how people are as far as how they live a legal lifestyle. Let's get rid of the trash and recognize that some things that some of us think are trash aren't trash. Doesn't mean that gay people are wrong. It doesn't mean LGBTQ people are bad. They deserve to be in wrestling if they can earn, if they can, earn the respect and everything and work hard and everything just like anybody else that's been in wrestling for 100 fucking years. And the same with anybody that is a particular skin color. They should be able to say, okay, hey, I don't judge on skin. Crap, this fucker is really goddamn good at being a pro wrestler. That's what it comes down to. Let's see them, obviously as people, but see them as pro wrestlers. If we can't see them as that and we just break it down into sections and stuff like that, or we let our bigotry, we have bigotry and we let it dictate that, oh, hey, they're just, they're different than me and therefore they're bad. No, that's not how that fucking works. Yeah, if you're a racist, you're fucking bad because it's fucking wrong to judge people based on that. But that's all I'm going to say right there. I look forward to getting a bunch of good people commenting and a bunch of bigots, and I want to see just how many people want to try and get angry because I happen to call out bigotry, homophobia, and transphobia when it needs to be eradicated. Not just from wrestling, but life, but let's just focus on wrestling. Agree, disagree with what I said? Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.